Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Mohammad Asad. I am a student of MScs semester 1 in Hayuddin Islamic Nehru University. My honorable instructor is Dr. Cybr, and my topic is cybersecurity threat landscape. Introduction. First of all, we define what is threat landscape. It is also called a threat environment, a collection of threats in a particular domain or context. Information on identify vulnerable assets, threats, risks, threat actors, and observe trends. So it is a dynamically changing ecosystem. Main forces contributing to these changes are increased complexity of IT products, various external forces such as financial crisis, new vulnerabilities, sophistication of available tools and attacks, available resources, both personnel and monetary, available skills, network enabling knowledge, transfer and growth of illegal profit in cyberspace. These are the types of threats we will discuss all in detail one by one. The first one is cyber criminals. Cyber criminals are much like the individual attackers. Cyber criminals are encompassing cyber threats. Almost all hackers are criminals in some way, and motives can vary from demanding money to setting up crypto mining to damaging companies' profile. State-sponsored attacks. This kind of hacking is often government versus government. It is often functionally indistinguishable from the cyber terrorism, but the defining trait that the attack is officially sanctioned by a government. These attacks can involve not only hacking but the use of more traditional spying as well. The rise of hacktivism. The hacktivism is a subject of cybercriminals, subsubject of cybercriminals whose motives are more ideological. As the name refers, a hacktivist is essentially a cyber activist. They are using hacking purely to push an agenda, whether political. The rise of hacktivism. The hacktivism is a subject of cybercriminals, subsubject of cybercriminals whose motives are more ideological. As the name refers, a hacktivist is essentially a cyber activist. They are using hacking purely to push an agenda, whether political, religious, or otherwise, other than a financial motive. A hacktivist attack can be as simple as changing the text on a company's website to a more nefarious action. Next one is the phishing. Phishing contributes to be an effective tool for attackers as it can very quickly compromise a business, a network, and attackers can get target specific people or organizations. Phishing is a primary method of infecting victims with malware working by expecting a Trojan whose payload is disguised as a seemingly legitimate file, often coming to a user's spoofed email address that look like a legitimate sender. The emails tend to carry a malicious attachment or instruct users to click a link that allows a visitor to visit into a machine. So the huge issue here is human error because many business users are unable to identify phishing. The motivated targeted attacks that are done by the phishing. The Internet of Things attacks as the world is growing more digitally. So all the things that are connected to the internet coming from smartphone, laptops to the household appliances, there is a constant threat for these appliances also because anyone can remotely operate these things. Next one is the malware. The short form of malware comes from the malicious software. The economic incentive to build cross-platform malware for cyber criminals rises with the growing number of systems. Ransomware is growing. Next one is the malware. The short form of malware is malware comes from the malicious software. The economic incentive to build cross-platform malware for cyber criminals rises with the growing number of systems. Ransomware is growing threat with attackers wanting fast cash. This effective type of malicious malware restricts to a user's PC application of files and demands that the user pay a ransom to the malware operators to remove this restriction. It also works on a business-wide level, impacting an entire network. Criminals often attack MS Office, Adobe PDF, and graphic files, which are typically found in business environments. And these targets. One is the cryptojacking. Cryptojacking is basically used in the digital currencies like Bitcoin and the other digital currencies that are used in the world. So, yes, basically these are the physical installments that are very important for a country, and these attacks are done on that installments. And the next is advanced persistent threats. Advanced persistent threat is characterized by sophisticated and concentrated efforts by coordinated attackers focused on the single target. The aim is to infiltrate a sensitive system, remain undetected for as long as possible, and leaves few traces of their success. So the APTs have become a favorite approach for those who aim to conduct cyber, corporate, and intelligence espionage. APTs are generally meant to obtain classified or sensitive information and have been used predominantly against technology companies in the US and Europe. No single technology or process will stop an APT, and traditional security methods are providing to be effective against these threats. So new approaches and increased vigilance is required to avoid the APTs. So by understanding all these different types of attacks in the cyber threat landscape, it can be helped to defend the cyber defense by identifying a motive and being able to trace what kind of opponent your business is facing, as well as in this attack and primarily at individual, organizational, or national level threats. So by using the countermeasures against these threats, we can safely use the cyber.